This is the Yaoi Diddler Biddler Show. Episode 1. Hello, Valeria. Today is our first episode. Are we excited?
Oh, yes, very excited.
Okay. So today we're going to be talking about Yaoi and Yuri. And we're going to be connecting this to Allegory of the Cave, Self-Fulfillment, and Siddartha and Govinda.
Exactly.
Okay. So would you like to get us started?
I think you should get us started.
Okay. Yaoi and Allegory of the Cave. And we try to connect Yaoi and Yuri to Allegory of the Cave by saying that Yaoi and Yuri is like the peak of self-fulfillment. Like reading both is where you are leaving the cave. You are fully exploring your inner self by checking out all the genres, and you're not limiting yourself to just Yaoi or just Yuri or just casual straight stuff. You follow everything, and that's how you really get to the peak of self-fulfillment.
That's where you get bliss.
Yeah, that's where you get your inner bliss.
Okay.
And you said something about if leaving the cave, there's different caves or like different hierarchies of caves when it comes to reading Yaoi and Yuri. Bless you. And let's get into that.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Because if you think about it, would there be different caves? Because if you're inside the cave, you are getting like different shadows on the wall, no?
Yeah.
So would the different shadows be would the different shadows be like what you are destined to read in the future? What do you think on that?
Your future shadows could be what you're destined to read in the future. Is that what you just said?
No, the shadows in the cave.
The shadows in the cave is what you're destined to read in the future.
Yeah.
So are you trying to say the shadows are trying to bring you to your sense of future enlightenment?
Yes.
Or is it feeding you images of straight or just one genre?
No, I think like the shadows on the cave could be like showing you what your destiny would be. What do you think on that?
But if you're inside the cave, that means that you're not going to follow that path. It's showing you something that's not real. It's showing you something that's fake. It's not really letting you get to the true self. And you'd have to escape and realize that this is not real in order for you to leave the cave and get to self-fulfillment. So the shadows wouldn't be showing you what is supposed to be your higher level of self. It's going to be trying to trick you into staying in the cave and following the comfort images on the wall, which could be stray or it could be Yaoi or just Yuri. It's showing you something that you won't really connect with on a deeper, truer level. And you have to actually leave the cave to fully understand that this is for you. Like, something is for you. Like, you see Yaoi and Yuri combined. When you leave the cave, you're finally connected to your truer inner self.
You know what? I think that was kind of tough. But I don't know. So why do you think people go back into the cave? Because you leave the cave, you find what would be enlightenment by reading Yaoi or Yuri or both. Then why do you think people choose to go back into the cave?
People might choose to go back into the cave because they find comfort in reading what everyone thinks is normal or what is viewed as the social norm. For example, straight has always been pushed in front of us because everyone wants to say that being straight is normal and that if you're gay or if you're lesbian, it's completely weird. And so society has pushed this narrative that being straight is right, and people go back into the cave and looking at straight things to see what they're supposed to be like, to see that this is what's supposed to be normal. I should be enjoying this. But they force this onto themselves without truly realizing that this is not for them, that they can't really be the way that they want. They can't enjoy what they want because they're following the social norms. So they go back into that cave because they're scared of accepting that they might actually enjoy what's outside of the cave.
I'm gathering my thoughts.
It's okay.
Do you think the cave would show different images after you've seen enlightenment, or do you think it would just be the same?
I feel like the images would be the same, it'll just look different to you now, and then you view it at a different light. You'd be conflicted, you'd be confused, because this is what you're used to. You come back and you see it, and it's like your thoughts and opinions of it has changed. It could be for the better or for the worse. But since you've left the cave and you're coming back, your thoughts will never be the same as it once was before you left, and you've experienced that enlightenment that you didn't experience before. Now let's get on to the Yaoi and Yuri self-fulfillment / enlightenment period.
Wow, that was really loud.
So we're saying that self-fulfillment and Yaoi and Yuri are intertwined with each other.
Yes.
So what do you think about that statement?
Because aren't they inherently like the same thing?
Define what you mean by that.
Yaoi and Yuri?
They're the same thing, yeah. About the same, just different genders.
Yeah. Do you think you would have different enlightenment if you chose to just read one of them?
I feel like if you chose to just read one of them, you would have a different enlightenment, because I feel like the pure bliss that you could get from reading both Yaoi and Yuri is something that you can only get from reading both. You can't just choose one and think that you're fulfilled, because someone could read Yaoi all the time and they've gotten so used to it that when they pick up Yuri, they're disgusted. You know? People do that a lot lately. Or they put on a mask, or they're low-key just lying about how they enjoy one or the other just so they can fit in. Someone could be saying, I love Yaoi and Yuri, but they only really read Yaoi. They could be completely lying. So we never know.
Are you lying?
No.
No? You read both. Do you think you've gotten peak enlightenment? Do you think you've left the cave for good?
Left the cave for good. I never know that maybe in the future I could end up going back into the cave. But so far, I don't think I would ever, go back into the cave. Now that I've read Yaoi and Yuri, all the series I have found, getting harassed by the sexiest man alive, as a Yaoi, for example, I can't name any Yuris off the top of my head currently, but I've read so many, I've watched so many, and I don't think that I could ever go back into the cave after realizing this broad, beautiful universe that has been shown to me by reading these series. I don't think I could ever go back. It's make me want to be a gay man sometimes, so I could experience both Yaoi and Yuri in my lifetime. But sadly, I can only choose one. What do you think about that?
You could always reach that in the future.
In the future? How do you think I could reach this fulfillment?
Bottom surgery.
Okay, thank you. What's your opinions on,
On what? On bottom surgery?
no, on self-fulfillment
On self-fulfillment?
with Yaoi and Yuri?
I think on enlightenment with Yaoi and Yuri.
Enlightenment with Yaoi and Yuri.
Because I think everyone should reach that enlightenment, at least with one of them once in their life. They don't have to stay dedicated to it, but at least exposing yourself to that form of media, I think would be good. Because this is what people follow. Don't you think?
I agree. Let's get to the bread and butter of the topic today. Siddartha and doomed Yaoi. Let's go!
Okay, so, part 1 of the book. As we have read, Siddartha and Govinda are friends. They have been friends, right? Friends. So,
History always calls them friends.
Huh?
History always calls them friends.
They always start as friends. But, as we saw, they met who would be deemed the Buddha, or something along those terms, I forgot. And Govinda decides to stay behind.
With the Buddha.
Yes, and Siddartha wants to go on his own path of enlightenment, perhaps with Yaoi. But leaving his friend behind would be considered, do you think it would be considered doomed, Yaoi? Do you think they'll eventually return to each other?
I personally think that they're going to eventually return to each other based off of what I read. I feel like the Buddha coming and, in a way, separating them is a metaphor of saying, like, this Buddha is like straight social norm society, and like where everyone thinks is the peak ideal for life. And then Siddhartha and Govinda are the ones that are different, indifferent, or just completely out of tune to the rest of the characters, right? So when he comes in, they're in a sense of conflict because they don't know if they could keep on doing this. They want to be like him, but deep down inside, they're not like him. They're something else, which is causing them to have an inner sense of panic. Have you read? You know the Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yes.
At the top, it's self enlightenment.
Yeah.
Second, self esteem. When the Buddha came in, their self esteem completely was stripped away from them. Especially Siddhartha. Siddhartha went into a whole panic within his life just because of the Buddha. So I think that this really is so far going to be a doomed yaoi. But I feel like as we read further into the book, Siddartha and Govinda, sorry, is going to have a successful yaoi story. And I'm hopefully going to be able to experience it when I finish reading this book. But yeah, they're going to make it. They're going to have to.
So, do you think that the Buddha would be like the alpha that tries to steal the omega from the other alpha?
For sure.
For sure.
For sure.
But yeah, as you said, like the Buddha could be like the one that pushes social norms onto Siddhartha and Govinda.
Yeah. And he said it so, and the way the Buddha said it, it was so calm. Like
this is what's right.
Yeah.
And you have
so like it's in a way like forcing him to really believe that that's what's true because he's bringing it up to him in such a polite, calming manner. But in reality, it may not always be true. It's always dependent on what's true to yourself.
exactly bars.
Anyways, I really appreciate this conversation we've had today.
Yes,
I think
also appreciate it.
I think it's time for us to bring it to a wraps.
I guess.
This is love and battle out. Yep. Gotta say out. Come on. Ready?
Out.
3, 2, 1. Out.